Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. This is yet another segment of Mail Call 27, 28, whatever it is. I just want to keep helping you guys by answering your questions directly like this instead of losing something in translation, swapping emails all day. So let's get this started. I hate wasting your time as much as mine. This question is good for two individuals, Lee Olson and Kamal, who have questions on stacking products. One of them is stacking without removing or adding protection without removing the layer beneath, doing a polish or an IP solution wipe. So that's stacking. The other individual wants to have different layers, wants to stack different types of products, and these are all products from different companies. And he's wondering if the layers beneath will be damaged, or will it do any type of damage to the layers underneath or even the surface underneath. No, that it won't. But it is sort of like a personal science experiment as to which products play well together. I would stay within a product line if you are going to stack, and if you're not, it's going to take trial and error to see which ones play well together, which chemicals bond to each other. You may have one where the foundation layer has set up and cured well, but whatever you layer on top of that will not bond properly and will just disappear very quickly, rather quickly, and that goes for whatever layer. As for Lee, who is adding different types of protection before removing the underneath layer, and he's very happy with the results, hey, that's perfectly fine. I personally like to remove an old aging sealant or a wax with cleaner polish, even if I have to do it by hand, or an IP solution or a panel prep. Eastwood pre-paint or panel prep works excellent for that, and there are many others. And then just start fresh, and I get the most out of it that way, but to each his own. It's not going to hurt stacking. It's not going to hurt layers underneath as you're stacking. You just need to find out which products will play together if you're going to go outside a product line to do your stacking. I hope that helps. Good luck and have fun, please. Robert has a question on training. Do I offer training and when? Well, I did last year before I moved into a different shop, and I will resume, and it will be a Saturday and a Sunday, 2 days from 10 to 6. By the time you leave, you'll be able to start your own career, whether it's working for somebody else or on your own, because I will start at the very basics on the first day, and I'm going to provide lunch, and we rush through the first and the second day, and by the time you leave, I'm teaching you ceramic coatings, wet sanding, and everything you need to know to get started. So once this pandemic, for lack of a better word, is past us and things open up completely, I will resume. So all you have to do is just keep following on Instagram, Facebook, and any social media platform that I entertain, and I will make an announcement. Okay, next question goes to N.S. Landers, and he wants to know about paint chips, how I handle them, how I go about taking care of them. You know what? Instead of just sitting here talking, let me quick show you different ways that I take care of it, at different ends of the scale, from very quick, very economical to a bit more expensive, and can end up being a lengthy repair. Let's get into it. Working on this black Porsche Carrera here gives me the perfect opportunity to show you two different ways we'll take care of them here. The first on a more economical scale, and that's if we're not going to have the car for very long, just a day or two for a quick detail and some touch-up. And on the other end of the scale, a long-term fix with probably having the car for a week or so. And we're going to have the Dr. ColorChip paint kits versus OEM paint in this video. So the first thing I'm going to do is run a panel prep or an IPA solution over the whole panel where the rock chips are. Next step, some mineral spirits or a little bit of thinner, or maybe even Citral 266. There's going to be waxes or sealants or dirt to clean out of the chip itself. If it's been there for a long period of time, sometimes even rust. I'll grab my skewer, my Q-tip, dip it in the cleaner, get in there, Soften up whatever is in there that has to be dug out, and just carefully with that skewer, very lightly, clean it out. The OEM or the Dr. Color chip will not bond properly in the valley of that chip if you do not clean it out properly. When I'm satisfied they are all cleaned out, then we go for, well, the OEM or the Dr. Color chip, whichever repair we're going for that day. Dr. Color chip kits come with the perfect match. You have to put in what type of car it is, what year, and then you get the leveler and a little towel and a glove. Shake up that base coat color match, and right next to the chip itself, make sure you have the glove on, put a tiny little dot of the paint, a little bit larger than what the chip would be. Then use your gloved finger and gently pull that pile of filler into the chip itself. And this may take a few times until you get used to it. What you want to do is have the filler level or even built up a little bit higher than the surface of the paint before it dries. This can actually take just a few minutes, depending on humidity, all the way up to an hour before you can use the leveler. This is kind of what it would look like. It would be a little bit different if I wasn't shooting the video, worried about getting footage more than anything else. I used a little bit too much here, but after about 15 or 20 minutes today, this is cured enough where I could use the leveler, shake that up, spill 2 or 3 drops of that into the cloth that they give you, a flat surface like your fingers or the palm of your hand. And what you want to do is just gently go back and forth. I'm just going to speed up the camera to keep the length of the video reasonable. But what you want to do here, this is where patience is really a virtue. Taking your time and just being ginger and very light, dragging that, letting the chemical do the work, not the mechanical portion of you moving your hand over it. It will break down the filler, and you just keep going back and forth until you see that it's level or you're satisfied with what it looks like. There will never be it won't look like you took it to a body shop. It will look a lot better. You'll always see the outline of the chip, but it will be level and look a heck of a lot better. What I like to do is pick up, I have a lot of clear laying around the shop, so I'll pick up clear, put it on top of the Dr. Color chip paint, and really make it look a lot better. All you do is just wait for the clear to dry up for a couple minutes and then send it on its way. So that's done for a car I don't have very long and a package where the budget is low. Let's move on to where we have something where I have the car a little bit longer, a couple days to a week. The budget is large, and I can spend more time on it. This is the OEM vial that this customer took the time and picked up for me. Normally a perfect match depending on how old the paint is. We'll dump a little bit of this into my little plastic cup here. And these guys here I pick up on Amazon. You can either fill those with paint. I just like to dip the very sharp tip into the paint. And just like tattooing, there's no strokes like you're painting. You're not doing a Mona Lisa here. You're just dabbing some paint and tapping it into the hole. And that way you build up the valley that's made from the chip. And hopefully you can get it at least level or build up a little bit higher. So a couple, a day or 2 or 3 down the road, we can do some wet sanding. Okay, so we can let those dry. In the meantime, I can work on these. This is a previous attempt to fill them from somebody else, but they are built up way too high. So there's a there's an in between there, guys. There's a better way to do it. You can make it level or fill it a slightly above the surface of the paint. This is like a mountain of paint here. I'm going to attempt to fix this and make it look better. So what I did fill in just a couple minutes before, I want to let that cure for a day or two. If you try and go and polish or sand it before then, you could pull that right back out of the valley of the chip and you have to start all over again. So give it the proper time, you'll get the most out of it. Put 2500 grit around the block. That way you get a nice leveling effect, shaving down the peak of those repairs, making it level. This is what it looks like after just a couple strokes. I want to go back at it, make sure it's level, and then you just go to a polisher. 2500 grit, guys, that stuff polishes out with 3D1, no sweat. And to be honest, quite rarely is this done in one round. It may take many rounds. Another option is to grab my pencil, grab the eraser end, super glue some sandpaper to the end of that, and get to work on the peak of that mountain of paint. That also works. Okay, the next question goes to Sal, and he's working in and around vinyl stripes where they have waxed the car and there's a buildup on the edge of the vinyl stripes, and he wants to know the safest and the best way to remove them. I'll tell you how I go about doing it. This is one of many ways, but Griot's Garage has this dried on wax remover, and what I'll do is I'll run this on top of that and it'll soft it up, and then I'll grab one of these wooden skewers. I have a lot of these, and I'm not going to push. Pushing, you have a chance of getting up under the vinyl stripe to lift an edge. What you want to do is you want to pull and drag very lightly. Once that wax or sealant is softened up, all I do is drag this along very lightly, hardly any pressure at all, and follow that with a microfiber. This kicks it loose and away from the edge. The microfiber picks it up, and I am done. That's all there is to it. There are many other ways to go about it. That's how I do it. Again, do not push the skewer. If you want to do this, go the skewer route, pull it lightly. Okay, the next question goes to a Joseph Villa, and he has a 2007 Honda he's working on, and the top of the vehicle has that chalky look. That's oxidation. That's a quick fix if it's not too deep. Grab a little bit of 3000 grit or 2500 grit, depending how deep it is, and just lightly sand and get rid of that. I have plenty of videos on that, and you can revert to those. I show those in great detail. One not too far back, the thumbnail has a hood on it with a 50-50 shot. And once you do that, you're removing the dead paint molecules, and you can just polish it out from there. Now, what is underneath is going to be the gamble. Sometimes there's etching and staining and discoloration under there that is permanent, that goes really down into the base coat. That you can do nothing about. I'd say for a huge percentage of the jobs I do, it turns out wonderful, like the one that was in that video. He also mentions something was tried on one of the panels where it was sprayed over on top of that oxidation. You should be able to remove whatever was sprayed on there very easily with the 3000 grit or 2500 grit. Okay, good friends, that's going to do it for today's segment of Mail Call. I hope that helped. I'm going to try and do these as often as I can, but as you can imagine, this time of year we're hammered here at the shop, so sometimes it can be difficult, but I'll do my best. Whatever questions you may have, you can email me, put them down in the comments section, or join me on Instagram. That link is down below as well, and then just message me the question and I'll get to it. Brian from Apex Detail, catch you in the next video.